happy Wednesday, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by See-Through Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor Show, as well as Atlas Roofing. Thank you guys for sponsoring our videos. So let's get right into our weather headlines. We do have some more wintry weather occurring in the northwestern parts of the country, basically from Montana down to Wyoming. So we'll touch a little bit on that in just a second. And then Texas, the Panhandle specifically, you guys may be getting some snow as well. So we'll talk about that very briefly. But then the bigger story, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and we could see not only a storm system impact our traveling for tomorrow and the next few days, but there could be something to watch into early next week as well. So we'll talk all about that in just a few minutes. But first, we do have a few things going on. The first one is our Cyber Monday flash sale. So this will be next Monday, the 28th. We do have some cool sales on that will be occurring. So if you want to get ahead of the curve and kind of find out what sales we'll be having, so you're ready to go on Monday, make sure you call us here at the Hail Palace or email us, message us on Facebook, on whatever your main communication is, and get some more information about that. And then we have our new and improved Hail Trace 4.0 app that will be launching very soon. We don't have an exact date yet, but we are in the final stages of getting that ready to go. So make sure you keep an eye out for that feature date of when we're going to release 4.0. And then we do have a mastering documentation class here at the Hail Trace Hail Palace here in Edmond, Oklahoma on December 15th. That is a Thursday. That's going to be pretty much going on all day from 8:30 in the morning to 4:30 in the evening. And some more information can be found here, not just on the graphic, but I guess you can scan this with your phone to get more information and sign up and all that fun stuff. So we have that going on as well. And then tomorrow it is Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys are going to have plenty of time to spend with your family and friends, eat some good food, maybe watch football if you're a sports fan. Also, that is tomorrow. And so let's check out our current conditions, see what's going on. If you guys are traveling today or over the next few days, we'll get into more details of that as well. But here are current conditions across the lower 48. For the most part, it's pretty quiet. We do have a few areas that we're going to be watching today, though, in terms of severe weather, as well as, up in the northwest with that snow. So we do have snow ongoing from basically Montana down to Wyoming. Some heavier snow bands you can see here with those brighter whites, and then some light rain showers and a wintry mix in those warmer conditions. And then going down to Texas, we have some spotty showers going on basically from southeastern Oklahoma down to the Dallas area, all the way down to Brownsville, Texas. And we will be watching this area for the potential as we get into tomorrow. I'm jumping ahead of the gun here, but you can see just a few showers going on here. And as we get into tomorrow, with that continued building of heat and instability, we could have a few storms going on there. So let's zoom back on out, looking at our current temperatures. It's a nice day once again down in Miami. It's 85 degrees and a little bit chilly, but not too cold here in parts of the southeast down into the central part of the U.S. with temperatures in the upper 50s to even some upper 60s. It's 69 in Atlanta, 68 in Houston. Colder, though, as we go into the northern part of the country. It's only 43 in Minneapolis. And then, of course, with those wind chills, it's feeling a little bit colder than that. So Minneapolis, you're feeling like 31 degrees, 44 in Denver, 30 in Twin Falls, Idaho, but not much of a wind chill as we get into the southeast. So here are watches and warnings across the country. It's basically here in the west that we will be watching. We do have some winter weather advisories out from now until tomorrow morning for parts of Montana down into Wyoming, even parts of northwestern Colorado. Some snow anywhere from 2 to 4 inches, and some heavier totals in the higher elevations are possible. Now we have some red flag warnings out, so hopefully you guys aren't burning anything, because it's going to be dry and windy, and we don't want any forest fires, because that would be bad. And speaking of wind, we have some high wind warnings as well in parts of Wyoming and down into California. And then we have this winter storm watch, and this was actually just added here for New Mexico within the last half hour or so. That was not there when I was putting all this together. It's not surprising though, watching the models, but anywhere, I guess up to 5 inches of snow is possible. But looking at those models, there are a lot of disagreements, which is why it's just a watch right now, but this will be out until Friday evening. So if you're in these areas and you're traveling within the next few days, please make sure you keep an eye out to a local National Weather Service, local news stations, as we could see some heavier snow in those areas. So we're just going to look at the northern part for that snow. You can see as we go through now until tomorrow at noon, we could see anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of snow, basically just to southeast of Great Falls, the Billings area down into Wyoming. And then, like I said, up in the higher elevations, we could see some higher totals. So here is today. Can you roof? Can you get some work in before Thanksgiving tomorrow? Well, it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day, at least in terms of temperatures for most of us. Kansas City down to St. Louis, all the way down to the Gulf. It should be fine in terms of temperatures. We could see somewhat wetter conditions, though, as we saw on the radar in Texas. So maybe more of a door-knocking day for you guys again today. Elsewhere, though, it should be a good day to get some work done before that Thanksgiving holiday. So let's take a look at our jet stream, as we could see some activity tomorrow, as well as maybe into the beginning of next week. We'll talk briefly about that as well. So here is our jet stream very far to the south. And here is that trough that we will be watching as we get into tomorrow. It's going to deepen, and we have a cutoff low here that we'll be watching as we get into tomorrow afternoon. Plenty of warm air will be streaming in ahead of the system, and then it'll kind of take its jolly old time to make its way out as we get into Friday, and then getting into our Saturday. Again, it's going to be a slow mover. A lot of rain, if anything, will be falling from this, and then that will start to move off to the northeast as we get into our Sunday. But then another trough is going to be moving on in behind that, and we could see another round of possibly severe weather as we get into the beginning of next week. But otherwise, it's just going to get very cold as that second trough moves on in. And yeah, getting into Tuesday and Wednesday, you can see this second trough here. We'll be watching it very carefully, but we're still 6 days out, so things could change a bit. But here is our future precipitation. For the most part, again, today, if you're traveling, it should be a decent day overall for most of us. Really, the only exceptions are here in the Northwest, where we have that snow and wintry mix occurring, and a few showers down in Texas, but that shouldn't really cause a whole lot of issues. But as we get into tonight and into tomorrow morning, that low pressure system will really start to pick up moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. So we could have some issues if you're traveling from St. Louis southward to Dallas and Houston, and we even have some snow on the cold side of this. And then as we get into Friday, again, this system's not really going to be moving a whole lot, so we could see some flooding rains from this. And then as we get into our weekend, it will slowly track off to the northeast on our Saturday and then into our Sunday. So basically from the East Coast down into the South, as we get from, tomorrow into our weekend especially. Make sure you keep an eye out if you're traveling, as it could cause some issues. And then some more snow in the Northwest as we end our weekend and getting into the beginning of next week. And you can see we will start to see another low pressure building as we begin our Tuesday, and so we may have to watch that. But again, we're still a little far out. So jumping into tomorrow, we will wake up and we'll start to see some storms occurring. And in terms of severe weather, we may have a chance to see marginally severe weather. I'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, we can see a few storms here and there from Houston and a bit further south than that. And that will continue to push off to the east as we go throughout the day tomorrow. And very heavy rain will occur basically from Texas eastward into Louisiana and Mississippi. So again, if you're traveling at the very least, very heavy rain is likely, and we could have a few storms that could produce a wind gust or two. So here is our future instability, the Cape. That is the fuel that those storms need. We will have some in the region tomorrow. We've been talking about this last few days. I guess it's going to be there possibly to see some marginally severe weather from Houston and just to the north of Corpus Christi. As we get into the evening, though, tomorrow you can see it basically just dissipates. So if there's going to be any chance of severe weather, it'll be tomorrow afternoon, early evening. After that, we should be okay in terms of the severe weather. And you can see as we get into Friday, there will be no instability at all. So here is tomorrow's wind forecast. Again, up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts are possible, basically from Houston down to just to the north of Corpus Christi, eastward into parts of western Louisiana. It should be pretty spotty. We're not expecting anything too crazy with that. But in terms of the rainfall, we are expecting a lot of rain with this system. It should be pretty okay for the rest of today, but then getting into tonight and into tomorrow morning, you can see those rainfall estimates will start to increase relatively quickly. By tomorrow evening at 11 p.m., Dallas, you'll be closing in on around 2 inches of rain. So again, if it's not severe weather, it's going to be potentially a lot of heavy rain here. And as we get into Friday and then into our Saturday, you can see anywhere from 2 to 3 inches of rain is possible from parts of northern Texas eastward into Louisiana and Mississippi, as well as into parts of Alabama. And then that system will track off to the northeast and bring us some rain there as we get into the end of our weekend. Now, kind of jumping into not just tomorrow, but a little bit into Tuesday. Here is that low pressure system. You can see we're not going to be, what's the word I'm looking for, lacking any moisture. We will have plenty of that in place. And then as we get into our Friday and into our weekend, plenty of moisture still there. So a lot of heavy rain is expected. And then that system will track off to the northeast. And then as we get into next week, this is Tuesday at 2:30, you can see that moisture will be returning. So we will be watching parts of the central United States, maybe for some severe weather. But like I said a few times already, we're still 6 days out. There are a lot of uncertainties, but we will be watching for the potential for next week. And then that will push off to the east on Wednesday. So that's all I have for you today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, as well as our TikTok page. You don't want to miss any information about our Cyber Monday deals, as well as the potential for severe weather, not just for tomorrow, but into the beginning of next week. And if you have any questions, concerns, or if you just want to say hi, you can give us a call at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday and a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday.